Hi friends, I'm OJ Jarvis, and welcome back to the Lewis Jarvis Show. So for this channel, I'm not shy in covering the more risque subjects within the Warhammer community, either it being the subject of female space marines or the subject of religion. I'm not shy in giving my point of view on things. I'm not shy in presenting my thoughts, my ideas for an audience like you guys, to share what I have to say. As such, I want to give my point of view on another, maybe not risque, but it is a heated argument within the Warhammer community. Something that I want to share my point of views on because it is something that I see time and time again, and just something I want to give my point of views on instead of making just like a wall of tweets on Twitter. Being that how people would say that 9th edition Martin 40k is still the same political parody as it was during the Rogue Trader era. And that their evidence for this is that how the Orc war boss himself, Ghazghkull, is a parody of Margaret Thatcher. That might sound like a random connection, but bear with me. I'll tell you a brief history about this. When I was getting to Warhammer for the very first time ever, I was watching a 40k Theories video where he did a sort of top 10 list of the more obscure facts within 40k. And within this video, he got to the segment in which he stated that the Orc boss himself, Ghazghkull, is a parody of Margaret Thatcher, being that how he was created during the Rogue Trader era, in which the game was satirizing on not only sci-fi settings, but also British politics at the time. More specifically, the politics of the then Prime Minister. Because, this was a British-made game for a genuinely British-made audience, because 40k wasn't that big at the time, especially during Rogue Trader. Let's be honest here. And when I was getting into 40k, I took it into face value, because why would someone say something like that if it weren't true or if there wasn't any connection? I'm not saying anything about Ramley's mind you. I'm just saying that when I was getting into it, I just took it as it is. I was like, oh, okay. And didn't think much of it. But like I've said before, it is something that people talk about every now and again. And after years of hearing stuff like this and doing my own bit of research then and there, I've come to form my own opinion about this. But what are my thoughts? What are my opinions? Is Ghazghkull really the parody of Margaret Thatcher, as people claim him to be? Well, looking into it, and after doing some research, no, he's just not. Why do I say this? Well, the reason why I say this is because Andy Chambers says so in what looks to be his Facebook post, or in this case, a Facebook comment. To quote,
"The real answer is far more arcane than that. In the early 80s, my friends and I used to do live role-playing. It wasn't called that then, but it's what it became in later years. We played monsters a lot, particularly orcs, so we worked out our basic orcish based on the bits of black speech in Lord of the Rings, so we could communicate without the adventurers understanding what we said. In the framework, Mag Orc Fracker, Big Orc Leader, Ghazghkull, Metal Skull. Coincidentally, the son we called Ghazghkull, Fire Skull. No Maggie involved. We were doing our best to forget about the Wicked Witch."
So as you can see here, there was no connection to Margaret Thatcher when Andy Chambers was creating the character of Ghazghkull. If anything, it was just a coincidence. But then again, what is there to be a coincidence of? What? Because his name has the words Mag and Thraka? But here's the thing, it doesn't go in that order. His full name is Ghazghkull Mag Uruk Thraka. If it was something like Ghazghkull Uruk Mag Thraka, then sure, there would have been something, but that's not how his name goes in order. If Andy Chambers really wanted this to be a parody of Margaret Thatcher, he could have done something like just named him Mag Thraka, and that'd be it. But that was not his goal when creating the character. But for the viewer who might be watching this video who might still think that Ghazghkull is a parody of Thatcher, well, out of respect, Out of respect, mind you, let me ask you this. When we're looking at the orc boss, what is it about him that makes you think of Margaret Thatcher? I'll be frank here, nothing about this makes me think of Margaret Thatcher. If I wasn't told his name, and if I didn't try to unscramble the word spaghetti, there's nothing about him that makes me think of Margaret. Like, if you really wanted to turn Margaret into an orc, you could have done something like give Ghazghkull the same kind of hair. You could have given him like blue armor. You could have, if anything, you could have made him into a female orc. But then again, orcs in 40k don't even have a sex, so what would the point be if one orc character had a sex, a biological one, yet none of the other orcs do? But okay, what's his clan that he's from? Is the name something like Tories or something like that in orc language? Well, no. His clan is named the Goth clan. And if anything, the name sounds a lot more like the historical Goths within our timeline. And somebody might say, well, what if it's just a clever connection? What if it's not meant to be in your face? Well, 40k isn't known for being subtle with its references, guys. Let's be honest here. Because after all, they have a Primarch named Lionel Johnson, who has a Legion of Space Marines named the Dark Angels, who now reside in a fortress monastery named The Rock. And with stuff like Warhammer Fantasy, they literally just straight out rip stuff out of history and modern mythology. They're never even saw about this. Maybe somebody would say, but what if Mag Thraka is all we need for it to be a parody of Thatcher? What if this word spaghetti is all that's required because of how similar it sounds if you toss the words around a bit? Okay, well, there's a character in Warhammer named Eisenhorn. Is he meant to be a parody of Eisenhower just because their names are so similar? This is not whataboutism. I'm just giving off another example of a character whose name sounds so similar to someone else within history. A name that sounds so similar to a politician. But despite the fact that they have the similar name, they're not related whatsoever. And something like that is just not anything special for characters like Ghazghkull. However, this is my point of view. This is just my arguments. At the end of the day, I want to hear your arguments in the comments down below this video. If you have arguments in which people might think that Ghazghkull is somehow a connection to Thatcher, please tell me in the comments. I will be interested to hear. It's just that with what ND Chambers had to say about the creation of Ghazghkull and just my overall points of view on the whole idea of Ghazghkull being a parody, I'll just be honest here. If Ghazghkull is meant to be a parody, then he's quite the poor parody. With everything said and done, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all again next week with a brand new video. Have a good one, guys. And if you enjoyed this video and you would like to subscribe, then make sure to activate the bell notification button so you'll never miss an episode. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'll see you again soon. Have a good one.